Swan Report 0520. Air Channel RU. Notes from the meeting of 7th of May 20. Apologies for absence. Item 1. Shelter, Sydney Opera House. Watching the elegance of the swans in the lower pond on the heath gave rise to pondering on Sydney Opera House. Utzon's early sketches show him to be influenced by nature, and in particular birds. It was agreed that the Heath Swan is a floating, flying opera house. Consider, maybe swan outside, but its feathers and inspiration denied for its interior. One can only imagine what might have been. Item 2. Eating. People who can own and eat swans. The ownership of swans in the Thames is shared equally amongst the Crown, the Vintners Company and the Dyers Company. The monarch is the only person allowed to eat swans. Swan-upping, the Swan Census. See Stanley Spencer. Item 3. Shitting. Automata. Neuschwanstein. As a beautiful creature, the swan as a super duck cannot escape its destiny in the place of architectural theory as a recollection of Venturi's duck. Mimetic architecture. What happened to that? Was agreed that swan plus duck plus Vaucanson's shitting duck, or more politely, canard digérateur, offers a technically inspired architectural journey with a yearning thyme for kinetic, time-based forms in a constant state of evolution, rather than forms that only mimic this idea. Did Venturi ever go to Bavaria? Hard to believe he didn't. For example, on every floor of the castle there were toilets with automatic flushing system. A very well-serviced fantasy. To be discussed. Item 4. Transport. Ride a white swan, T-Rex. Committee agreed that the lyrics to this song are meaningless, but the swan is beautiful. However, it was noted that Lohengrin, a character in German Arthurian literature, a knight of the Holy Grail, sent in a boat pulled by swans to rescue a maiden who can never ask his identity. Research question. Did Mark go to Bavaria? Advise TfL of Heath swans as zero carbon transport solution. Gender issues. Item 5. The exploitation of swans by artists. Rubens, Leda and the Swan declared inappropriate material for media studies. Item 6. Poor swan, to be so misused by monarchs, engineers, architects, poets, ballet dancers, and in mythology called AALA in Scots, Gaelic, AALA in Irish, Alak in Welsh, Alak in Breton, Olar in Manx and Alak Cornish, just to mention a few. No wonder you can have such a bad temper. But nevertheless, you are lucky. It is illegal to kill you in many parts of the planet. A killer swan, dubbed Mr. Nasty, has killed up to 20 other swans at one habitat this year. Item 7. App for the next meeting to be confirmed.